show. And we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Chris, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Mary. I'm doing well, very well here in sunny Southern California.
Oh my gosh, beautiful weather right now. Happy to be alive.
Yes,
And we are
we're so
today
blessed.
talking about how to leave a legacy of love since it's February,
Yeah,
right? Valentine's
that's right.
Day.
We're wrapping up the month of February, and we were dark a couple weeks ago because I became a grandpa for the first time, and so that's why we were dark on the 14th because my little grandson, we didn't know if he was going to be born that day or not, so we had to kind of go dark that day. But we're back at it. We're ready to roll, and I'm ready to hit it rolling. Let's go. Let's roll it.
I love it. But again, congratulations on behalf of the world and the interwebs. Congratulations on being granddad. And what are you wanting to be called?
So I have my name to my grandson is going to be Papa, Papa, Papa Chris.
Oh,
Here I
that is so
am.
sweet. I love
There we
that.
go.
I mean, they always say like the kid's gonna pick it, but I'm like, no, you tell him what you want to be called. Like then he'll stick, right?
And I figured Papa's going to be pretty easy, so he's going to say Papa before Mama and Dada.
Get in there. I love
That's
it.
right. I'm getting in there.
I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into it today. Again, this month is all about love. Oh, and before I
Yeah.
forget, we're already planning ahead. So in March, we're going to be talking about blessings and gratitude since it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yes,
And so we thought that's something we'll be focusing on. So again, we'd love people to share their blessings, their gratitude moments, so we can share that with the world because that's so important, right? So
it
important.
is. Yes, it
But
is.
the thing that we are all called to do is love. And so today is
Absolutely.
aptly how to leave a legacy of love because
Yes.
we all, it's inevitable. We only have so much time on this earth. And we want to make
Right.
sure that people remember us in a loving way. So I have some questions that people have typed in, and that we will ask. Well, ask you, and
Yeah.
we'll get going.
That sounds great. Let's
Awesome.
do it.
All right. The first question that came in. We have way too
Yeah.
much fun on these, Chris. I don't know.
I know.
Is how can we ensure our love continues to be felt by those we leave behind? So I'm going to go off screen and let you
Mm,
answer this, okay?
Sure. So, so trying to leave your legacy of love. It's important. Once you lose a loved one, it's about those times that you spent together, and it's those little memories. And I was trying to think of the other day when I was going over some of these questions of leaving your legacy of love, and I think it's some of the things like since I've lost my dad and my wife, I think my dad left me a legacy of the business he started here in Corona at the mortuary and got me into this business. I grew up in this business. It was something he had a passion for. He loved to serve the community and to give back to the community. And I didn't realize that as a kid. I helped my parents in the business, but I never really realized the love and the passion you have for serving. And I went away to college, did my own thing in hospitality management, but then I really had that calling, and it's the love. I've kind of almost followed in his legacy of love of serving the community and giving back to the community. So I really grasped that as he left a legacy of love through his actions of the business that he started and that I've been able to perpetuate. And then the next would be the legacy my wife left. She had a passion of giving, and she worked at the food pantry up at Crossroads. And even though that I don't work at the pantry as much as she did, I still commemorate her love of the pantry by doing a lot around the holidays, around Thanksgiving and Christmas time. I still do quite a bit to bless the pantry because I knew that was something she loved, and I want to memorialize and dedicate something to her legacy by giving back annually to the food pantry. And I think I continue my legacy for the love of serving through the mission work that I've been doing here over the last couple of years. So they've set a couple tiers of legacy through the love of their serving, and I've been able to be blessed by perpetuating their legacy through my work and through my actions of service in the community.
I love that. And you're also
Yeah.
modeling that for your kids. So as you said, you watched your parents do it, but it didn't sink in into your older. I think a lot of things our
Yeah.
parents do, we don't realize it until we get to that age. Like,
Yep.
when you become a parent, you realize, wow, my parents are really great. Like you don't appreciate it
Yeah.
when you're young, right? You don't know.
That's right. And we're not perfect. I mean, we all have our ups and downs, but there are those things that are rooted in giving us that legacy
Right.
and their love and their passion. And everybody shows those things differently.
Hmm.
But those are a couple of the things that I picked up through the legacies of those that I've lost.
I love that. I love how you honor Rhonda with your involvement with the pantry because that really was. I remember she just was so passionate about helping others in the community. So, what a
Yes.
blessing. All right. Next question
Yeah.
is what role does love play in how we grieve and heal? This is a very, very important because that is a process, right? People go through it. My mom will
Yes.
be gone 20 years this year. And I process it even different than my brothers and sisters. So again, what role does love play in how we grieve and heal? I'll go off screen for you.
Sure. Let's see here. How we deal with that. I think is by I think it's through our actions of just letting those around you know that you love them. We never really say it enough. Um, and I think it's sometimes silence is a good thing, but I think telling those around you that you love them, telling your children that you love them, telling your spouse that you love them, telling your parents, I love you. I think it's important that you say those words because sometimes people have a hard time saying them. It's just understood, especially for a man. A man's kind of macho. He doesn't want to be vulnerable and saying "I love you" to his dad or something like that. But what I love is my son comes to me every time we goodbye. He always says, "I love you, Dad," and I go, "I love you too, buddy." I always call my son buddy. But it's like it's just those words. It's simple, and he just he'll give me a hug and he just whispers, "I love you, Dad." And those expressing those things really helps. And I think when you do that, when you've lost those people, such as a spouse or a family member, if you've said those words, I think it helps you to get through your grief when you've lost them because you were able to express yourself. If you don't express yourself to those people when you're alive, it makes it, I believe, harder to adjust through their loss and it's harder to get through the grief if you don't express yourself. So, with every chance that you say, I love you to those that you love, to your family, and even close friends that you're intimate with, just let them know that you love them. And I think when they're gone, you'll have that impression within your heart and within your soul, and they'll know it, and they can take that with them too. That you've left that legacy of love with them.
I love that. It's a really good perspective. And also, as I saw this very touching video, which of course I'm going to butcher his last name. His name is Andrew. He's a British actor who I think was in Spider-Man and he's in a lot of Marvel movies. And he recently lost his mom. And
Mm.
he is encouraging people to ask him about his grief. And I'll have to post that underneath the video when we're done. It's so
Yeah,
touching. He was actually on Sesame Street talking with Elmo about how all this sadness in him is really just leftover love for things that he didn't tell his mom, or even though he told her every day he loved her, he says there, I feel like this sadness is not bad because
no,
it's just all, and I actually have shivers right now talking about it.
yeah,
It's all the leftover love that I had for her, which means that when I am sad or I'm grieving, it's because I loved her so much.
yeah.
I'm gonna cry, right? And so
No,
that
but
I
it,
think
it
that grief
is.
is your reminder that that person made such a difference in your life, and what a
That's right.
blessing that is, you know?
Yeah, sometimes people, especially that first year of a loss, sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that you lost that person," and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry I brought that up." It's like, don't be sorry. It like you said to share stories about the ones that you've lost. That's because you've loved them. And I was able to. I was at my men's Bible study the other night, and they had a lot of conversation, and I was able to bring up a scenario that Rhonda lived by, and it was about friendships. And Rhonda always had a thing. She always used this analogy about the balcony. And it was like, yeah, you always want to keep your friends, your close friends that you have great relationships on your balcony. But, through life, your friends change. They come and they go. And sometimes you have to, unfortunately, push those people off your balcony because they become maybe toxic to your relationship and they're not supportive in your journey. But she said, always bring those that are supportive of you onto your balcony and keep them close because they inspire you. They give you strength when you're on your balcony. But then you could say over time, like I said, friendships come and go, and sometimes you just kind of distance those friendships because they're just not as they might become more toxic or they're just not as supportive. So she always said, I just push those friends off my balcony because I just don't need them as close anymore. So I was able to share that. And I'm like, it was kind of cool. And everybody goes, man, I'm going to take that. I goes, those are some good words of wisdom. It's like keeping them on your balcony or pushing them off your balcony. So, and everybody got a good little laugh out of it. So it was kind of cool.
So we're talking metaphorically pushing them off a balcony, though.
No, really. You walk up to the second floor and you push them off. No, of course it's metaphorically, Mary.
I'm just trying to be funny, lightening it up, man. That's my job, dancing
Okay.
bear.
All righty.
But you're right, and I always say that friends are for a reason or a season, right?
That's
And so
right.
they might be in your life for a reason, like they're there so you can bless them with something, or they can bless you, or whatever. Um, through a shared experience or something, or a season. They might have been your childhood friends, but you've kind of moved in different
Well,
directions.
that's right.
And then you kind of lose touch, but it's nice to see them. But again, they're not in your everyday life because of that season.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Perfect.
love it. Awesome. And it's all about love, right? You just love people
Absolutely.
for where they are and what they do. And back to the parents too, like we weren't born with a owner's manual and we all come with our own stuff. So we
Yeah.
all do the best we can.
Yes,
So
we
if
do.
anyone is having an issue with their parent and maybe it's near the end of their life and they've had trauma from earlier in their life,
Yeah.
just recognizing that your parents did the best they could with the tools they had,
That's right.
and that'll help you, realize that it's not, it's something easier to deal with, I should say. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the
Absolutely.
next one.
You bet.
Oh, what?
No, go right ahead, Mary.
No, it's
I'm ready for the next
all
question.
the wisdom. Yeah. Okay. So So the next question is, how does love influence the way we choose our final resting place or memorial? That was an interesting one. How does love influence the way we choose our final resting place or memorial?
I in my business talking to people, we always ask, what do you want with the disposition of your loved one? And with burial, it's typically a cemetery, and a cemetery is kind of a heritage thing. So it's like, oh, grandparents were buried there, my parents are buried there, I'll be buried at the same cemetery. But as cremation has evolved over the last 20-25 years, it's become a little bit more uh, giving you a little bit more of ability to be flexible on your disposition. And disposition is where your final resting place would be. And again, with cremation, so many people say, oh, my loved one, I lost my loved one. Oh, I'd love to take them to the mountains. Oh, I'd love to take them to the ocean. Oh, I'd love to take them to places that legally you shouldn't dispose of them, but you do anyway. Maybe like it's a certain casino or a certain amusement park. And they want to, like, just because they love that place and they can relate. And then when the families go there with other family members and they take the kids or the grandchildren, other families are like, oh, this is, mom loved this place so much. I wanted to leave her ashes here. And, a story here is like my girlfriend, Nikki, now, her father passed away about a year and a half ago. And earlier, like it was about 6 months ago, we went up to Oregon, and he loved this place. It was up in Oregon. It was this little beach in Oregon, and it was this little town, and he loved it, having the clam chowder in that town. And so all the kids got together, and we went and we scattered his ashes in the ocean off the beach in this little town up in Oregon. And so it's a place that now the family can go back to all the time and remember, hey, this was Dad's favorite place. So that's what's really nice about when you're sitting down talking to people. I think the disposition of your loved one is really, you want to put it at a place that is a place that you want to visit, but it's a place that remember and memorializes them and the things that they had loved. So again, if it was the mountains, the ocean, the desert, you know, a special amusement park, maybe a special park, you know, maybe you put, and if you can't scatter their ashes there, maybe you put, like here in the city of Corona, you can put memorial benches and trees with plaques anywhere in our city. So maybe there was a special park that your loved one went to. You could always put a park bench in dedication. And we did that up here at Rimpaw Park. We put a bench with my dad's name on there because my parents were able to help the city build the park up there on Rimpaw. So we wanted to dedicate a bench there. So it's called the Roger Miller Tot Lot. And so we have a little bench there with his name on there right by the playground. And so it's just one of those things. So I think when it comes to choosing dispositions to remember your loved one, it's such an easier thing when it comes to cremation, but it's just a wonderful thing because you can share memories with those to perpetuate their legacy, again, of love, of where they're laid to rest.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love that because it's like a permanent like honorarium almost. And I love that park bench idea. How did you do it? Just if again, whoever's watching this, you just contact your local city, or how would you do something like that?
You go to your usually your parks department within your city. It could be Public Works or it could be the Parks Department, but go to whatever city. If it's Corona, Norco, Riverside, anywhere in Orange County, Southern California, even anywhere around the country, go to your city hall. Ask them if they have like a memorial bench program, and they'll probably direct you either to the Parks and Recreation Department or the Public Works. And those are usually the two departments that will assist families of either planting a tree with a plaque or putting a bench and memorializing your loved one.
I love that. And also with
Yeah.
at Thomas Miller Mortuary, when you have in the obituary section on your website, you
Yeah.
actually have the ability to right there. You could
Yep.
plant a tree, right, and it has in
That's
their
right.
honorarium, and you could obviously send flowers, buy gifts, things like that. But
Yep.
it's really nice. You make it really easy. So if anyone is interested, you can go to thomasmillermortuary.com, and
Yep.
we even have a little chat bot on the we call it a compassion bot, and it answers
Yes.
questions about grief and loss. And if you have any questions, obviously we will direct you back to a human. But in the middle of the night, there might be some things that you have questions about. And we've trained the
Yeah.
bot to be compassionate and give you
Absolutely.
resources for grief support and things like that. So
That's right.
I just realized I should set that out there. Oh, and we have some people who chimed into the show. I didn't even see this till now. So good morning,
Wonderful.
Kathy. Yes. Congratulations on your baby. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And Lisa said, such a great message. And she said she loved being on Rhonda's balcony.
She was. Thank you.
I love that. Oh, thank you, Lisa, for tuning into the show too. And Kathy, thank you. In fact, if anyone's out there listening and you have a question or just want to make a comment, we love to see them. So go ahead and put
Yeah.
those in the comments and we'll do it. And
Thanks.
if you think this topic would be helpful to someone, you're
Ask
not supposed
someone.
to say the word SHARE, but you're supposed to say, if you would like to sprinkle this amongst
Distribute
your
amongst
community.
distribute amongst friends.
There you go. I love that. Yeah, because
There we
the
go.
meta is
The
listening.
word. Yeah, you can't say that word, but you can say distribute amongst friends.
I love it. I love it.
There you go.
Okay, very cool. All right, let's get to the last. I think we're on the last question.
Yeah,
We
let's do
are.
it.
Oh my gosh, so good. We're being so efficient today. Okay, so question for you, Chris. Do you think people
Yeah.
sense the presence of loved ones even after they're gone? It's kind of
Yes.
a metaphysical question, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So
do you think people think that?
so
So I'll,
here's something I wanted to make an analogy to about. Do you feel the presence of your loved one with the love of their legacy after they're gone? And I have to say yes. And there's a couple things, and I'm going to relate it again back to my wife Rhonda. Her favorite color was orange, and anything she did her she always orange flowers, orange this, orange that. Well, she loved the orange monarch butterflies, and I have to tell you the incredible stories that I see monarch butterflies. I've seen them in the month of November and December in the winter. I've seen them in my backyard. Now, butterflies usually come around spring, like March, April, May, June, through the summer, spring, and summer. You never usually see butterflies in the deep fall or in the winter time when it's cold. It's just not physically possible. But I tell you, I have, through the years living here by myself at my home, I will see monarch butterflies, and specifically orange ones, flying through my backyard. And it gives me the reminder or the presence that she's still around looking over me. And I know I've talked to other friends and families that they oh, I've seen dragonflies, or I see this thing, or something shows up. It's a bird, and it's a specific bird, like a hummingbird or a cardinal or something like that, and they'll show up. Or there could be a special piece of music or a song that comes on the radio, and it's weird that it comes on at a certain time, and it reminds you of your loved one. So I say yes, there's always songs and little things that happen just in your daily life that you wouldn't expect it. You could be just walking down the street, and it could be a certain dog or a certain cat that you see, and it comes across. It could be a penny. I know people said, oh, anytime I see a nickel or a dime, it's like, oh my gosh, that person, every time I see a dime, it reminds me of my loved one or something. So there are things that always keeps the memory of your loved one's legacy of love in your thoughts and minds and soul.
I love that. And orange,
Yeah.
hello, that's why Rhonda and I got along so well. Orange is my favorite color
Look at you.
too.
Oh, geez. Orange. Goodness gracious.
You were
Today, I
connected on
wore
so many
pink today
levels.
because it was about love. That's why I wore pink today.
Oh, I love
But
that.
next time I'll wear orange. I'll wear
Okay,
orange.
that's
Well,
good. Yeah,
no,
orange
next time it's gonna be
flowers.
green. Next time,
Green, yeah, we have
yeah,
to be green for St. Patty's Day
green,
month.
green. It'll be green next time.
But also when it's kind of off what you were saying about visiting my mother. I don't know why, but every time I'm thinking of her, well, not every time, but a lot of times if I'm outside, because obviously not inside, I'll see a hummingbird. And hummingbird will
Yes.
just like zoom in, like literally sometimes I'll be thinking of her so strongly, and hummingbird will zoom in and literally stop, like almost like 2 feet away from my face. And I'm like, hey, and
Whoa.
comes in like this and then zooms away. And every once in a while, a dragonfly, but I don't think that's my mom. Even though I know it's not my mom, it's just as a reminder. And but
Yep.
when I see that hummingbird, I like it's like, oh, hi, mom. Like it's just a
Yep.
reminder that she blessed my life. So
Yep.
yeah, maybe the dragonfly is my dad.
Well, there you go.
Like zoom in
There
on
you
me.
go.
I love it. Well, also wanted to quickly announce. So obviously, that this is our episode 20, which a very big
Yeah.
milestone here. Um,
Yay. Whoop,
yay!
whoop,
So
whoop.
it's so awesome because again, this is just your way of um, helping people understand that it's okay, whatever they're going through.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So the 20th, but we recently put, in fact, let me show this on the screen. We have, of course, all the shows, but we are now officially a podcast.
Yeah.
Yay! So if you go to YouTube, we're going to be going on all the channels, Apple, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. But currently we have it up on YouTube, besides, of course, the live stream show,
Yep.
which is how we're doing it right now. It's recorded, so if you want to watch our weird antics that we silliness,
That's right.
but again, it's going to go on podcast. So people, if you're ever interested in these topics or want to share it with someone that while you're driving or mowing the lawn or doing your laundry, we would
That's
love for you
right.
to have us in your ear.
Absolutely. For
Absolutely.
words of inspiration.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So just to wrap it up, the show today, again, we have our next show on blessings and gratitude on March
Yes.
14th. So mark your calendar on Friday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific. Again, this is the Dialogues About Death show with Chris Miller, who is the
Yeah.
local funeral home owner and director at the Thomas Miller Mortuary and Crematory. And if you ever need to get a hold of them, which they would just love to help you, even if it's like you don't, you're not impending, but it's something that you think, oh, I have some questions. You can literally go into the chapels, see what's going on, both Corona and Riverside.
Yep.
Their phone numbers are on the screen, but it's 951-737-3244 for Corona. And for La Sierra, which is in Riverside, 951-687-0551. Since now we have a podcast, we have to say those numbers so people can hear them. And they also have something that if you go on their website, there's actually a button that you can push for the in-store or in-house store. They actually have like a showroom where you have coffins and urns and keepsake
Jewelry.
jewelry and things that you can kind of look and see if it's something you might, or you could actually buy now. It doesn't have to be when someone dies. You
That's
can
right.
get a thumb. We always like share all this stuff on social media. You can get jewelry that has a thumbprint,
Yep.
or you can make a diamond from ashes. I mean, there's so many things you can do, photo frames, right?
You know, and Mary, just to give people the heads up with the thumbprint jewelry, it's a great Mother's Day or Father's Day gift because we have things for dads too, like little like pocket knives and little belt clips and things like that, money clips and stuff. But you could bring your kids in or your grandkids in. We can thumbprint them right in the lobby of the funeral home, and we can make a jewelry with all the multiple kids' thumbprints and give it as a gift to grandma or grandpa too.
That would
So
be
it's something you
so
don't have to wait.
I love
You
that.
don't have to wait. Yep, you
Yeah.
don't have to wait till someone dies. You can do is say, "Hey, get everybody together, drive on up, pull up to the front door, unload everybody in the lobby, say, "Hey, we need to have our fingerprints taken for a gift." Talk to one of my counselors. It would take about 5-10 minutes to get everybody's fingerprints in. We'll type you into the system, and then you can pick your jewelry. And there's like sterling silver, and there's gold leaf. There's all sorts of good things, and you got a variety of things to choose from.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Oh, we have a few more comments on here. Oh, well, thank you, Erica. I love that
thank
Erica's
you.
on. Yes. Gotta love the orange. They always make fun of me, but it just makes me happy. Oh,
That's
thanks.
right.
Thanks, Steve. And good morning, Christina. That's awesome.
Good
Um,
morning.
I love when your team, you guys are such a family. I love it.
They are.
And
We
by the
are.
way, some of your team also joined you in a local fundraiser last weekend. You support the Circle City Rotary, and you're a part of the you obviously helped put it on, and it was such a
Yes.
great success. So if anyone wasn't at the Fire and Ice fundraiser,
Yes.
it's already scheduled for next year.
It is. It is already scheduled for the last Saturday in February. It'll be February 28th of 2026 at Dos Lagos. It's already booked. Tickets will go on sale later this fall, and I'll let you know more about it then. But
Okay.
this year, Mary, before we go, I just want to just do a shout out to all my fellow Rotarians. We did such a great job. This year, we broke our record, and we grossed sales of over $112,000
Oh my
for
gosh.
our event. We had over 1,600 people there. We had over 30 breweries with 100 beers. We had about 25 chili contestants, but we broke 112 gross. We'll end up netting about $72 to $75,000
Sure.
that we're going to be able to give back and bless our community of Corona and Norco.
I love it. I have shivers. That is so
Yeah,
amazing because
pretty awesome.
you support so many, the Rotary Club. I mean, you personally
Yes,
sponsor, obviously, like
yes,
we were just talking about that Leaps, Bounds, Sheer Love, Inspire, Peppermint Ridge. So many
Cat.
love it.
Oh yeah,
But the Rotary
yeah.
even has even more different ones. But the fact that you can give that kind of cash raised by the people of the community, given back
Of
to
our
the people of the
community.
community is a
Yep,
beautiful thing.
it is.
Wow.
So
Tell
thank
me
you.
again how
Thank you to all the breweries. Thank you to all the chili contestants. Thank you to everybody that participated and gave their funds that we can get back to the community. I want to just say thank you, Corona.
I love it. What a success, and people coming together to do good, and what a legacy of love
Yeah,
to bring it all back around.
absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
the Rotary Club is really doing that, and thank you for being a part of that, Chris. And we were at that
You bet.
event, super fun. So make sure
Yes,
next February, do not miss it. Super fun.
absolutely. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you again for your time today. We will see you again on the show on March 14th. And
Sounds
until
great.
then, we wish you all the blessings and the love. And you guys take care of yourselves out there.
Take care now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.